Oban Masha, Radio Crib, Oban Masha. Just snap, 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 snap. I was not saying back. Not to say back. Okay, let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Bam, bam, ba-da-dum, bam. Ba-da-da-da-da-dum, bam. Get into, get into. Yeah, you baby. Yeah, not too good, not too. Yeah, not too. Yeah, not too, yeah, not too, yeah, not too. Yeah, be simply, Some said it.
Yes.
All right, so therefore, you don't say we know. Say yeah, if you're crossing by Mr. P and Mr. Y, I feel no more year Juma. If you na ko answer. Na Jabe Hena obi ye Mr. P. Mr. P fatu sumai. Mr. P fatu so no no an kura computer ni mu ebie mu de atoso. Nipa bibira adwom say still like Mr. P and Mr. Y bi oba bi ti eja so Mr. P and Mr. Y. Fatu suma me hwese ebetimi anya. Mr. P fadum so bia yi ne tu so na me hwa de. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay, Mr. P de atoso. Mr. P na de atoso yi. Na nka me hu ye Mr. P na adwuma ye organ yi. Daniel ye adwuma hu se me say pia computer bia enso eja ye ti America there Mr. P and Mr. Y ye adwuma still see ye there say pia computer. Ene be mu hu se manfo no omudi gwasiafo achi no omadwene no nhyeda nya adwuma se nto montini wa brase. But anyway, with that said, let's move very quickly. And then your man no edoso. And you may be doing komo bebre afa and somewhere a chair go home. We are going to have a conversation by na Bank of Ghana and somewhere the atuja gold board and some still are no yenye so because corruption related issues. And we won't treat it business as issue. Say obiaba be cambrofo. Na nunti enwa no esi di hon komo into totality. And the Bank of Ghana Governor BOG Ekoko PMO a Public Accounts Committee. Honorable Abna Osei Asari. A question. Now there is a difference between Oye propaganda on radio and TV for the people to consume. And when you appear before a public committee, now as what the other facts and figures Ekoko Cheromwa, Yadesa Komono Ebebremo. Now, when it comes to corruption, Furiato, you bedim common say Attorney General no crown why serious say or be have a conversation, and I said or try the people in the court of public opinion. Instead, so be court no akwa prove beyond reasonable doubt no. Ora dom levo de nsembia ba betudwafa ora ne ho nkro no ba. Dom levo say Ora no one shed them so. Don't forget said Domlevo about corruption or more fighting corruption in this country of ours, Domlevo a corruption anti-crusader. Papa. Na no ka ora ne ho. And there what chiremu ora no emunsuo no. It is not oraling. You betie the Domlevo kai and he share the response Attorney General Edemano. Now COVID-19. Yera John Dramani Mahama Kachire said, Nabayano Echa. They've repealed COVID-19. Makacham said, Abai way the propaganda yet the actual work in the say, oh, you know. So clearly, but when you subject it to a critical proof, COVID-19, Oma repeal ampa. Now, Oma repeal other companies be either so a charge COVID-19 levy. And you bet as of on the 8th of a year January, which is this year, but before me born January, I was a make a fuss about a year date here. So let me quickly change the date. By this time, I drew one more matter. And it is on the 12th of it's yen change the date, na fi month one hon tom. Yes, sir. Wamudi no be year a year fast. Say na the date kranye. And then so Monday and now Wednesday. Okay, Monday. Let's go. Okay, 1 2 3 1 2 3. So today is Monday. So ladies and gentlemen, the date has been changed and it is working properly. So on the 12th of a year, January 2026, and then year show no. Questions are here, and we are going to ask critical questions. Say a name no kase COVID-19 11 yes ye twam. But auto adiaya shall receive. So is it still appearing there? If it is still appearing there, GRE and the edge, mind you, per the GRE records, every day beyond COVID-19 levy yentry akrano, over 9 million Ghana cedi and omo collected. So from January 1st to now, so COVID-19 the so edge GR. Abayis were tremble in the media, but behind the scenes, or COVID-19 levy and you ever heard some near the Hong Kong. When you COVID-19 levy every month, can oforiata enti man for ya say MPP are more corrupt than the NDC. But when you subject that notion, that image to proof, to strict proof, say between NPP and NDC, one would be the most corrupt party, not just in the media, but the record shows. And he had cut down memory lane. I can't say Gen Z for no. Bebrenanim diakoso from President Kufuor taking over. Victor Solomon, Chachuchi Katamo, Kwame Pepramoni, Adi Omunina. And then he had cut down memory lane till today. And the record shows that till today, there is no single MPP appointee yet jailing for the act of corruption. No single MPP appointee. From 1992, ABC a year 2026, which is I think 34 years into a year democracy. So 34 years into democracy, no, and you be prove say between MPP and NDC, the most corrupt party a year NPP, but a year NDC. That not said no. With that said, Yankensi should be as a MPP nye breeding grounds for criminals. Eti party no ubia and support you ubia we manfo ni sika. Se manfo no ema opportunity se brabe sumo mo. Manfo ni ye the honor se brabe sumo mo. Na obana se oba be wia omo a. Don't think that ubetimi get a cover within the party MPP nye no tini ete. Eti ene no se ubia ye boni omo a. Ye beche no regardless we don't care. And as will be every amount for the sika hiding behind the political party NPP. NDC should go ahead and jail them. Because any day, anytime, if Kwefri Faya Metiye, seminya opportunity so man for no, I should be courageous enough to say service to humanity does not end at the time where we were Juma. It must end with accountability. If it's a service, why a man for ye, Usumomu ya. And so to me, Baby Bua contact a man for the say, yeah, if just a chili East share one, sir. I'm gonna come home, we are once come home, but Masse, Kokotia Suya, Kena Moso, Kuna, Dawu Tabre, Jamasi, Yadinina Mau. That's yet the Mau we are, so to me, we are now be Bua contact a man for the say, when you the mammy, Ebia MP's common fund, Minya say, me say in a share man for no. Manfoni says, when to me a Musa Contanua, na abayin sa so mwa, you cannot hide behind MPP. Eti ene yebedisa enkomone into detail. Bank of Ghana edin sembia betuga ene reporter Yensaka Elikiaba Yensaka has to do with some reforms about Bank of Ghana edeba efa microfinance institution ho omo friend the recapitalization of microfinance. Now, I will be penti. Abwasire wa jijene ba no yi nani ato nchen. Clearly, Bank of Ghana say oba be recapitalization. You be busa the necessary questions. Say policy now womode ba no. What is the intention behind the policy? Is it that ye microfinance na kwhye enkrofo nsa? Because supposedly again say omo sia no, omo ye NDC4, abi omo ye MPP4. Busa questions in Yana. So more recapitalization. How are they going to safeguard indigenous companies? Are you going to be nano? Say nano. You see a recapitalization of bank. Yeah. They clean up. You busa all the relevant questions. But before say metwa so mame emamo public announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, Madaruma public announcement. Edi kind say last year fake dollar noa. A year national security kwache no still yehunu baby a fake dollar no afa report MI wo monchire ye say sika no omukofa national security japa omukofa ye no ewen if they think it is business as usual say ye beba ni aba o mabe tutu ni emagu say sika no ewen still no over 12 containers of dollars in gold no a omukwache wo poku ase no. National security Madaroma ewahi gold basi ewahi wobi na afa kwesi ana Obia fa gold bars ne di. No accountability. Japa gold bars ne ewo he. Wontimi ma me kan kire manfo ne say there is gold bars. Na omma meye account to them baby a gold bars na fa. We can only assume say ne mawia. Said moda sona gold bars ne dollars e ma mebu akonta emu cedis ma mebu akonta dia. We can only assume say mawia. Na yempese ye be assume say mawia. Eti madaroma national security momra me account to the people. Gold bars na muko hunu ye. Dollars na muko hunu opoku ase no. Momra me account to the people. Please come and account to the people. Yesere mu a muntimi mfa gold bars nkogumu dem. Muntimi mfa dollars, 12 containers of dollars nkogumu dem. Na yen kovaso business as usual. Yebebusa mu 1 year down the lane. A yedi to me ma mo sa gold bars ne dollars no. Ewo he. The relevant question we are asking is sa dollars in gold bars no me pamucho ewo he national security ewo he. So mo ntimi anchire mu a we assume that Jakwane ne nkrofo awia. That is the only assumptions that can come to our head. It is a Jakwa when nkrofo awia sika we dia. You must account to the people where the monies are, where the gold bars are. We won't treat this business as usual. It is not the first public announcement. Now, second public announcement. DVL wants and some say baba before DVL no. TikTok minister Wadaroma Mienka was say and they mene kasa no. So for line. Why you say pika. Now, I'm say 2 days ago the whole place went a doom fui. Our brand TikTok minister Asha Wellington Boot say so combat here. Kumasi nyina dum no na TikTok minister Asha Wellington Boot and the combat no the nam TikTok a year samba. Now I have made a resolution say he is our guy. I probably won't touch him. But with that said, I think he should get serious with the job a little bit. Agrono adorso. As a governance in India, TikTok and social media, there are serious issues. Kumasi Yusum, Kumasi Nabide Chirewinti, Dr. Frank Amwakoine. What your fans were TikTok ni be washa Wellington Butuni Kambu. As your fans were TikTok ni be a year, get to the work and work. Stop the propaganda with time, it will catch up with you. If you don't stop the propaganda with time, it will catch up with you. Minuano, we yami okay. And this in our motion mukwa sante formra emran mabawa. It is the fact that Mama Aquine, I am not in any shape or form willing to drag you down. So that is not my. But the way I would diagram door so juma. And what's a man for na genasi, man for the pediatrics. Minister Washa Kambu, you combat, mortar combat, no nam. It you know the difference. It's okay, but the pertinent issues of developing the region, I think we must get serious with some of these issues. You move your way. Now, DVLA boss, Minuano, Logas, any or more enya a fracas be yanko nyanko cheese and some way, my address. Thank you. Okay, I catch him say, oh, Mr. P, you free so? Aha, Mr. P, you free so. Yanko, Mr. Yanko.
Training, say a shy, we say normal plate, who some bebre and aba. It's no Nancy, I say, you must say Ghana, the Edinburgh, Yejuma. It's you who says, said the better Ghana. I'm running for now on my pioneer. I say, Jumani, number plate in a yebo. It may be anywhere you can number plate home. Ya Ghana plate since 1995. I did numbers when we started say even before 95, but in 95, I up to date. You know, it's about 30 something years. I mean, yeah, Jumana 31 years in it. It's a nabas years some later. As my can say. Abani maya ye no yenko so anya yadwuma because if you don't know na Well, we are just a few people because here to me, finding in a market, it's about 46 companies, almost 50 companies. I registered. You share your taxes, me a baby, and yes, Ghana buying or can money on more common day. Okay. Into your panicho, fire Juma Mayan. Na Yankoya Juma, as a Moses. Na we are in Abeda Ghana, a son say Ghana, Unia Jumaya, war mobile. Yapanicho, when you share your ma, you bush in na, did I can you say, yes, Reno, on my client near Concoya Juma, Nayamboy Ghana number, please. Okay. For now, almost all Modebano, and young mammy Julia. Okay. That day, my boy back with me, so ya, na ye. Na then and then you'll be a fetch. Kwakobo and I said there are many pabako for Pesebi. Ghana any pabako for dia, ni pabako for nidi. Kakra, sani pabako ya kaya so. No okaya hubi. Eti denti no no kwa fe chire kwaje. Na je se no mebi nkoyie. Ye mfa nkonti ba enkasa. Ye nye dede. Na emo ye de beba eja amamre nimfo. Na ya sere omo se ye sada ye nsa ye pacho. Omo ma ye nkoye ye adwuma.
Okay, that means or the political party
yes, or person the room. Now yes, you non-political because you no politics were human. Okay. Aha, until yesterday, I buy my own concoy juma. Na obia any budget said yet na.
Okay, but your association
VEMAC, Vehicle Enforcement Association of Ghana. Okay. VEMAC.
All right. Okay. That's super.
Yo, we have VEMAC for omo omo free court and ibusa omo. Na omo say obi eje nipa ba akofo so we NDC ni it was the contract ni nyina na dem. Lucas, you are my brother, so probably I wish I could speak to you on these matters behind the scenes. But since it borders on national concern, then yendi sound common in public. Lucas, first of all, minim the BMWJ company no contract in free a lot of people some Ediama a one person. And one is over here, it won't augur well for your government. And you know, some of these mistakes for the interest of the larger group of Ghana, I'm not interested in playing politics with it. It won't augur well. But even aside that, it won't augur well. Menyanti Asa will say from 2023, 2024, 2025, will be our register in the Caribbean on some famra a year DVLE. Now, I'm getting one say no re-registration because money a digital information on their cars. So first of all, if money digital information on their cars, technology and I'm person with key or mischief. So Lucas, so person will key or mischief with technology. You don't cause a lot of problems for the people. Because the only reason tell person we digital appearance yes ope say manfo ne ho ntomo now wo say ka kire nipa o ma register several millions of Ghanaian people o ma register mo ka 2023 2024 2025 say omo nsampu emra DVL emeye day. So if it is about keeping of records and data, how can you use technology to make the life of the people simpler? I'm giving you a suggestion and I think you must look into it. Adeba Logas Unu Timbetimiaye say, Samuwo the fiscal copy of DVLA records on these cars. Let somebody build a software. Sa software no. Enubia na mube jinaso. Upload the more records na muwono. Na mudiagu sa software ne so. Now let the people sit in the comfort of their homes. Now, omonso enko sa platform kroya so. Upload the omoka registration document, se form seal, se there you, where it gives you all the necessary document no. Omuncha omoka number plate. As including omo picture verification, they can verify their face on the app. Omo upload it. Say even sika 17 also omonsa amra DVL. There is no point so be momadba DVL. As part of the registration, maybe you can link it to mobile money, BBA, so it can go straight to mobile money for them to pay using their own mobile money. So they buy and cause inconvenience, massa uncle for say, Obia answering free the fee and Samra DVL, and cause huge traffic, huge inconvenience to the people. When you want to cure a mischief in the society, you don't cause inconvenience with the mischief you seek to cure. Mestre, Lucas. Let your technology people technical people look into this. You should build a software. So software, no more records are more already on cars. Let them upload it on those platforms. So they may synchronize information. It is a meme car and a winning records, digital records on it. The obey say more money can upload more information, more one fiscal one. Said the obey me a common platform so. Na metra form see no upload. Metra my name up verify. Me my ID card aka ho. This is doable. This is not rocket science. This is doable, and you must be able to do this. So, Logas, please, don't cause inconvenience for the people. I know you have good intention. You want to change. Many what dinkomobi behind the scenes. Even our car registration. So, our car registration, you know, a year. Your day, a year 10. Your day 5, 25, 26, etc. I personally have a problem with it. Because the psychological impact of Ghanaian people when it comes to buying car. Obi betimi ato car. No odi esi wo ontwi. Wa register me the 25 for church ontwi. The moment I register you 25 no car that yempe. Obi nso betimi the DV abo ho atwi ne saa more than 5 years. And the reason people refuse to register their car and use DV for so many years is because of Sadia. Because the moment I register, it devalues the car. It is not personal cures mischief by taking away 25, 26 in the Adena. I am on the same page with you. I think we should do that. But in the course of doing that, you don't need to create an inconvenience for people. You're really behind, you're really beyond their way. And say, Obi answer for the camera, Yansa be any. Logas, Yansa be any. You must be able to cure the mischief without causing inconvenience for the people. That is what I will say for today. Now, young call your first topic is so. Your first topic has to do with a year Bank of Ghana. You retrieve information be where a information you retrieve from Bank of Ghana. Leaked report just a Bank of Ghana about a year so-called recapitalization of microfinance institutions. Ye nim the SC wo omaimu pen. A very troubling turn of a year event. It raises serious questions of transparency and accountability. As you share the true intentions behind a year Bank of Ghana recapitalization, Mobekaya omaye bi pen. And on the ma a year banking sector no emuye mere. Kufuado beto ya and what try say all cures mischief no esako kose enough problem. So despite the loud announcement, a Bank of Ghana tries to obey no. But before that, COVID-19 levy. Yet to Chroma say my year John Dramani Mahama be catcher so we repealing COVID-19 levy. But my catcher says I buying we no catcher such a sura form. And with time the people will get to understand say abino kill net abine bia and chain. It's yet to Chroma year John Dramani Mahama be catcher so COVID-19 akufuado de no de buy and a scam we are manfo no. So we are manfo no dia wono a repealing. O repealing from a year last year November basin there. Yebusa Yera John Dramani Mahama say is GRA aware say enkrofo da so charge COVID-19 levy ana. Yen hwesa video we.
This is the COVID Health Recovery Levy Repeal Act 2025. And it's my honor and privilege to sign to repeal the COVID levy. Promise made, promise delivered. And today is the 10th of December, 2025. Sign.
10th of December 2025. Anna President Mahama a repealing COVID-19 levy. It repealing it must take effect. Semene woka say. Yera John Dramani Mahama so a repealing COVID-19 levy. But just so as of today, despite the announcement, the presidential declaration, say COVID-19 health recovery levy no were repealing no. Ghana for gusu etua ana omuntua se me no kasai enye minor glitch. This is not transitional hiccup where a daylight robbery because GRA nyantia say every day bia no munya over 9 million Ghana cedi every COVID-19 levy home. It is you see a repealing as of 10th December, 11 December, 12 December, 13th, 14th, 30th, 31st, Yogusuje, up to 1st January, 2nd, 3rd, ebesi a nay on the 12th. Yankoni yankoshe a nay on the 12th. Sir, okay. Yanjwa diwi. Where a VIP for receipt, which is a year 2nd January 2026. Where I see here, COVID-19 levy no, you're John Domani Mama. Say web repealing no, Tiamo Yansemano no. Wamuguso air charge. And GRA is aware. You repealing a dear as of 10th December. Still, you go so edgy. Who is benefiting from this air discrepancy? Why pocket in a Sessica way air core? Why is the public being kept in the dark on this? And this one is not me saying the numbers don't lie. They say GRA say every day on daily, every single day, Biano, or more generating not less than a year 9 million. So if 9 million Ghana cedi from 10 for no a year no, basic ne, or more than so charge COVID-19 levy no. Yanjwa sa a year receipt way from Better Shopping. Better Shopping on the 6th of January, which is about 6 days ago. Still our COVID-19 levy no, a year John Dramani Mahama so we're repealing no. Better Shopping eda so edge COVID-19 levy. So see a year calculation within a space of a year, 12 days into the new year, GRA receiving not less than a year 80 million Ghana cedi. That is by calculation. Because the levy was no longer in law, because the government had already declared it abolished, because the people were told, said the burden has been lifted. This is pure thievery. Where is the money going to? Where is the money going to? Eko obiboto mu ana. Sense GRA ama instructions say COVID-19 levy yentwam. Ana still no companies be charging, which is VIP, which is Better Shopping, among other companies. I intentionally did not hide their name because these companies must be called to order then and must be brought to the book and yet treating business as usual. The levy is no longer enforced. Why is it being collected? But a yakioneta buying omukasa shesura, shefom, omukasa shefomwa, shesuro, and yamana meka, yes, and you rajon do mani mama biu. Yenje view, COVID-19 away, you know, yenje view.
And it's my honor and privilege to sign to repeal the COVID levy. Promise made, promise delivered. And today is the 10th of December, 2025. Signed. Purported to provide free water, free electricity, free food, and a lot of things. And to the shock of most Ghanaians after the pandemic was over and after the elections were over, government slapped Ghanaians with a 1% value-added tax, ostensibly to recover what it's supposed to have spent on the COVID pandemic. Ghana continued to remain one of the only countries where we're being taxed for a pandemic that had passed. And so during the election, we promised that when the NDC comes to power, the COVID levy is one of those who repeal. A lot of Ghanaians have disliked this tax, and today I'm pleased that on the 10th of December 2025, I've signed the repeal act to remove the 1% COVID levy.
aban ne se were repealing, but behind the scenes were COVID-19 level. Eti mo bia nyini. Maka kyerem say aban wo kasa hwesoro a hwefom. But still, what the goodwill of the people. And I mean, once we watch Kambu, red, gold, green, be a trending near there. Or more than the picture, no, near there. Now, what some more say? When him said the relevant issues, when you interest, cry. Will you concert no? Mokai first one or buy and also no continental moto sunu chini budget so. But what I know is that with time, sa honeymoon na or moodino. A better Ghana for any so the Ghanaian people will come to see through the veil of theatrics and will be pierced, and we will see it clearly. Until COVID-19 level, omu chatro, and yado correct. Now you moving away from COVID-19 level. Makacham says a major fee, and Bank of Ghana, a buying a tura buying. They spend so much on propaganda rather than the reality on the ground. Still, but it doesn't shock me. I don't care. The entire shock him, they say, me ankasama buying. MPP are buying a buy. While appointing 110 ministers, I had a problem with it. I kept on complaining. Now, I didn't really bother because let me and exactly what I see with this government. And they almost say Makasi Achire, Imakabia Etio Furiata, Etiafen Margina Befi. There be Muna Margin in your papa. You have been conscientized to believe what you want to believe. At what point you want to believe it? Ejenese me kabitio Furiata, I say there be a fed Margina Befi. One afen a Margina Befi. If it's a Mekasatia Furiata buying, Munya Bibo every XYZ. Mekasatia Bawumia, Munya Bibo free XYZ. Mekasatia Kuford, Munya Bibo free XYZ. Still, most of Okatakyie Afrifa Mensah because I feel walk be at you for yata. One wide winning yet, so you have selective hearing. And so why when you do Madia? And yen Kaubenias unya selective hearing. Kabakase, Okatakyie Afrifa, now by wa bemu 8 years, one no more coin. Jomama Benya, but or you're very critical of them. It has nothing to do with NDC or MPP. I am being me. We are going to take you through the journey of this political history, say between MPP, but before that, Makacham said BOG, Gold Board, Omon Kanokure. Mobakaya, almost share Jumabi, Emma Miaminia, a year obi of Asempa FM, extra RTI, Right to Information Bill. BOG, Mama Menja said, Obwa, a year Jumashe. Na BOD by so MPP for Boka, Gold for Reserve. Now, Gold for Reserve, no reporter BOG no angasade in Shasha year 2024 no. So I report to the NEA. Nowhere within the report, Anna Omo admit say a cabo be will Gold for Reserve. But Gold Board as me buy ye. Omati aka me believe say MPP for Boka will Gold for Reserve. And NDC for so aba no mo to aka no so. Me catch them say bibia say anyhow. And then Yamencha dia say when you're the house of propaganda. This is the House of Records. It is a OKBBA, SOTM supported. And the Bank of Ghana governor, Ore Siama, Ekoko PMO, a Public Accounts Committee. Now, Public Accounts Committee, no Koko PMO, he is supposed to provide records. A cabo ben ya bo. When you go board, I'm sure MPP Bobby did that, Bobby. Yanko tie, Honorable Osasari, I'm not Osasari. Any Bank of Ghana interaction. When we a Bank of Ghana there, when I am governor, wouldn't himself record to Hosi Aboka, where it should be at your fingertips. It should be at your fingertips. And so you Bank of Ghana governor,
I want to find out from you that 3.8 billion loss that you mentioned. Can I find it in your financial statement for 2024?
Madam Chair.
Madam, respectfully, you can't do that.
We Honorable Abino Seasari Busane said 2024. Samose losses no yinya Gold for Reserve no. In your report one wa prepare awodiaba. And here fan young conquer report ni mu say MPP are buying Gold for Reserve wa. Yenti enkomo ne said yenti.
Finally, I want want to find out from you that 3.8 billion loss that you mentioned. Where can I find it in your financial statement for 2024?
Madam Chair.
Madam, respectfully, you can't do that.
Record. It's important for us to, especially when.
Governor, can you please show me where I can find the 3.8 billion loss in your financial statement?
We will provide that to the committee.
No, because I have seen the 1.8 billion in your financial statement.
Governor,
I have seen.
Hold on. Honorable Abnas Asari to Boise. Governor, what prepare report to the Aba? What the kind of man for what he says, MPP are buying ya cromfo. MPP are buying ya corrupt. MPP are buying mismanage economy to the point that ya boka 3.8 billion. And a man for what JD. And the war appear before a year public accounts committee, which is House of Records and no propaganda. Honorable say, Abena Asari is asking you a simple question of, Governor, what reports now were prepared their banner? And here found a loss in one amin konko can be. The Honorable Asari can. What's the report to Abba? MPP Boka. It's what reports now what their banner me pamucho. And here fa anna young ko namin ko can be. And also, I say, about Yentian Comodi view, Yentian Comodi.
Madam Chair.
Madam, respectfully, you can't do that.
Record. It's important for us to, especially when.
Governor, can you please show me where I can find the 3.8 billion loss in your financial statement?
Madam Chair, we will provide that to the committee.
You will provide it?
I have seen the 1.8 billion in your financial statement.
You will provide it?
I have seen the 1.8 billion stated in your financial statement, but I haven't seen the 3.8. So, respectfully, if you can show me exactly where the 3.8 billion Ghana cedis loss has been located.
We will provide that, Madam Chair.
Hey.
We'll come back to the committee.
Governor, as for your banks, this is for 2024. I'm talking about 2024. It's on the website, but I can't find the loss of 3.8 billion Ghana cedis.
If it is, this is 2024. So you wouldn't find it.
You said was in, I have seen the 1.8 stated in your financial statement.
Right.
For the gold for oil program.
But that might be for the 2023.
No, it's for 2024. Your 2024 financial statement is on your website.
Yes.
So I went there and then I checked. I saw the 1.8 billion loss in the. I saw the 1.8 billion loss in the financial statement, but I'm yet to see the 3.8 billion that you mentioned here in the financial statement.
Yes. So, Madam Chair, can we come back?
Madam Chair, NDC it is dealing more with propaganda because Oteman Fono Agwina said, Man Foni Musa. So let us prosecute the MPP in the court of public opinion. No wonder say Attorney General Ampeso Obeko court wo. Na da bia wode nenam ntentenwa nenam tentenwa. Na kamuyi ka Bank of Ghana governor. Wanka so prepare a report. Wo say Kaba. It is a Kaba dia. And it is you should be on top of issues. What say there be yama unko na afi na unko hwe ka no aba no ansa no aba beka. Na time no a wo di RTI report ma obi no na ne me be ka no wo. Ade ane frakadama memuo tantan no mubu ni sa no. Ade ane dishonesty na manfo no nso adwene no medwene ho amenti asese ye bu omubu kata but the people cannot even see it. Ye bu manfo ni bukata wo asad na ye bu omubu kata but the people cannot see it. Ona what dia betu dwa se manfo no mo Friday say yaboka MPP abaya boka. What appear before the Public Accounts Committee? Yebusa a simple question. Governor, kame wahini nyina yenkan bi wosi wo mamen ko mamen pini machibra. Me ka kira mo se frakadama memo ni yebu a onnyi ntum. But when you hunu ye problem, media me hunu. And at the right time, I know some of you will also see it. So clearly, NDC Abani believe in propaganda and only capture the attention of the Ghanaian people much more. Much more. Now, say, Bayana, Ube want to say, I said, because Gen Z is a phone in Yenti, I'm going to walk you through the nation's political history. Say, you're corrupt, and NDC are corrupt. We need to walk ourselves through the nation's political history. Medical says for Oforiata, Wama Meyina Noah. It will be perceived as though Oforiata a kromfo, and to a far extension, NPP so a kromfo party. That is how come said President Anado Danko Kufuado said ya we tinti. Said ya we so move Oforiata and resign. Not even when 70-something members of your parliament a year press conference and you wouldn't resign, you know. At the time wow pe and resign, you know. You need to impress on Oforiata. So ombra no ombra meyina no. Other than that, the notion, the perception which is being created is that MPP are corrupt to the point that Omo finance minister ntimi mma meyina no. Make a sense so. From 1992 basically, there has not been a single MPP appointee yet jailing for the act of causing financial loss to the state or a yet corruption. So for Yata Madia, ye need any bargaining chip, ya bargaining power bia. I bet me say NDC you corrupt. It in another kufado with the greatest of respect. Won't me hide behind the idea of miyare, meyare. Politics perception is equally important as a reality. And the perception being created is that MPP are corrupt. I know say Attorney General when you're not going to fight corruption. Because if indeed Attorney General wants to fight corruption, then he can try Oforiata in absentia. If they said the name Tamakulu, yeah, try no. Na said nam tamakulu said the name I know ni ho but you try no ejeli no aban ba ye onye interested aban also fight corruption oba ye onye interested. Now the trail of prosecutions, the truth woman said National Democratic Congress ye reign fisa omo ye corrupt party because from President Kufuor time ebesi ne Yentimin for one single MPP Nibiantum, and when the NDC is in power, corruption thrives. When they are out of power, accountability catches up with them. If this is the time when MPP I am in support. Say any day, any time. Me say. Any day, any time, if say MPP for baby we are at the can Oforiata your friend say Baba friend say Minya Bay. Oh, a national service in your friend say give to a worry. Say give to a worry you so why you so Omaba Ababe we are Mount Fonisika, they should be arrested and be jailed. Any day, any time. Because MPP nye breeding grounds for criminals. Ye kwakwa sere tumi free manfo ne ho. Se ye petumi ne aba beso manfo no. Be bia no ye ka kire manfo no se moma ye tumi ne amra mewiamo. Manfo ne ma tumi se bra beso mo mu a, oma ye honor. They've given you the chance to be a minister. They've given you the chance to be a CEO. They've given you the chance to be a deputy CEO, deputy minister. And sa portfolio no na would need before. It is a nyamia wa domina ba betena sa akonwa ni mu a. Emu achede a wunya ye nche because of won ofe. Munyina mbedi adanse a mufra ban mu. Christmas hampers ana munya bio. Because those things were not meant for you. It was meant for the office. Emu sika gift ana munya bio. Because those things were not meant for you. It was meant for your office. In that same vein, if the people have honored you, se brabe somo na wunya mu adodo die say na wuye greedy, overly greedy. Now say there be Still now be use the position the people have given you to siphon money, steal money, to rob the people of the little they can also benefit from. Won't me man be hiding behind the party MPP? Now Franco we are there, and I'll be in support of that any day, any time. If it's a make Afrifa Mensah, se minya kwanya se me so manfo any day, any time wa. Be we are ese mitimi there any aban bia wote so. Se me baba so manfo no se me we manfo no a jail me. Wontimi nya sa na wo hide na akoye na me kokati deal and a plea bargain in 30%. When you kromfo, you must be jailed. But the records also shows that between NPP and NDC, NDC is more corrupt than NPP. And not the umpeu. The record shows that between NPP and NDC, NDC is more corrupt than NPP. And in America, we will take you down memory lane from President Kufuor era. Edeba see a year and neya ye kasei. Every time I did to me bema NDC say omumra made di to me biano. Omube free so no we are manfoni say tam. Omu we are manfoni to the point that ye jelly be am ya mo presidential amnesty. It yent me and washes uncle for we. Now all of a sudden they climb the moral high ground. So during President Kufuor time, after Jeje Som Ewie, several top NDC officials who served under the Rawlings administration were prosecuted and jailed for causing financial loss to the state. When you small cases, when you petty infractions, these were massive scandal. I costed Ghana millions of cedis. Now the first among them, Ura Kwame Pepra. Eti Ura Kwame Pepra and the Hey. Ura Kwame Pepra, a former Minister of Finance. In 2003, down memory lane. In 2003, under President Kufuor, time was Uncle Kufuor sum a year or mine year. 20 million Ghana cedi causing financial loss to the state. In 2003, Kwame Pepra was jailed 4 years. So between MPP and NDC, if we are looking at the most corrupt party, it is NDC and not NPP. In 2003, Nyamenameka, the record is there. Quality grain scandal, it was there. We all saw it. Ura Kwame Pepra, former Minister of Finance, Uwe Najuma, Yenyina Aye Yahweh, say Oko jail 4 years. Now, when you Ura Kwame Pepra free wa, to prove that between MPP and NDC, NDC is more corrupt than MPP. And you Ura Kwame Pepra Nkwan ko jail. President Kufuor time, your friend Papa way a year Victor Solomi. Gen Z for na mabano. You must learn your history. Victor Solomi echo jail. A properly convicted court. Convicted in the same quality grain scandal no, or survey time President Kufuor na emso man pardon said say was what yare into man pardon. It between MPP and NDC from 1992 ebesine. NDC is more corrupt than NPP. NDC ye mo makonya bia so momra medi o man so a won be sore no ma wi o man say tam. Nobody is going to sit down for them to whitewash themselves and climb the moral high ground. Now, uyi omu free wa. Papa we your friend Dan Agbodakwi. Obaba ye, said the national chairman hopeful also. Meaning so you minkai the memory. Former Minister of Trade. He was sentenced 10 years in jail 2007 for conspiracy, defrauding and causing financial loss to the tune of $400,000 to the state. It yet me trauma NDC way and whitewashing home. Now, Ochina, Omo Mekasa, Omo ye a party, Omo Jenny Mount for no and a fight. O Furiata Nami Yaye. And your Furiata Nami Yaya dia. Between MPP and NDC, Ope party, Omuya Mambofo, Omuya Kromfo, ewi amanfo ne pa anytime e be mo mutumia from 1992 besi ne yentimi mfa MPP ni bia nto jail se wo ye kronfo and maka se Akufo Addo aban ne yehwehwem na MPP ni bi ye kronfo mu a ya anti MPP ne se ya kronfo party mo mfa ne nkoto jail ya no bia me hide wo ye criminal. Don't come and hide behind a NPP. Yen anano mwati no manga so mote eme de akobokro no. Ye kwosere manfo ni tumi no. Nemum the record shows that opo mo ya kronfo pa wo Ghanaian politics mu a. Opo mo the record shows that omo wi amanfo no akose financial loss a. Owura Dan Agbadakwi was convicted by a court of competent court of a jurisdiction. Anya attorney general DAB. Eti Dan Agbadakwi Genzifo no oko jail na yenyi eno emfiri ho na yen state on record Owura Chachuchi Kata between MPP and NDC, the most corrupt political party Owia Manfo no. In 2008, former GMPC boss Chachuchi Kata caused financial loss to the state. Ema ye jaili no humanitarian grounds in the pardon no, but meno woka say Chachuchi Kata was jailed for causing financial loss to the state. Now Ibrahim Adam, former Minister of Agriculture, was also jailed in connection with the quality grain scandal. So we cannot sit down as a nation and all of a sudden the NDC that we know, very corrupt bunch of people, would whitewash themselves and begin to climb the moral high ground and say, MPP is not a corrupt political party. The records are there to show. MPP is not a corrupt political party. They say, President Kufuor era yede eye Chachuchi Kata etum, yede eye Victor Solomon etum, yede Kwame Pepra etum, yede Dan Agbadakwi etum. These are records. Ubufu, you can argue with your phone and America. The record shows that they are corrupt, they are thieves, they stole from the people, and these are public records. There is no single MPP person you did not add to jail for corruption. Now, in recent times, under President Akufo Addo, Senokrana Ache, Jomama #1, Efriso, in recent times, under President Akufo Addo, many of you are aware, say Abu Gapeli, and Yamanameka, the records are there to show, say Abu Gapeli was jailed. Tienye, Mahama #1 appointees, they were prosecuted for 772 million Ghana cedi scandal, the NCA scandal. Abu Gapeli go jail on it. So Mrs. Awope between MPP and the NDC, the most corrupt political party, the records must show, the records must indicate that it is clearly not a MPP and a corrupt. NDC is the most corrupt political party in Ghanaian history. You can argue with your phones. I don't care. Ubufu won't me the records na echere wo. Ankofa no baby me the records and na echere wo. Eti obia metwa ntro entumfutu mu wani. NDC is corrupt. NCA scandal no. 5 individuals. Eugene Bafu Boni, former board chair of NCA, was jailed. Nyamena Meka, makachere and Nyamena Meka, the records is there to show. Where Abu Gapeli, one Eugene Bafu Boni mo, they went to jail. William Tetetiabi, Director General, Emma NCA, Alhaji Salifu Mimina Osman, Deputy National Security Advisor, Nana Osu Ensau, Board Member, George Derek Opong, they were prosecuted in the roles of Omu player, Obia Oye corrupt between MPP and NDC. The record shows that NDC is more corrupt than NPP. We are no free war. In recent times, Opuni, Tienye, Tie Adeweyi, Opuni, and Collins Dada, Sedu Agongo, they were charged, prima facie case were found against them. According to prosecutors, over 40 million, 70 million, 98 million plus, and an SC free or more. And then NDC, your prosecutor or more, do some point, you know. NDC now was about war fighting corruption, or by was one to scandal, a one to a prosecution, so. Now, and a Thompson scandal, there were prima facie case against them, but Attorney General said on to us so. And Thompson, SNET, causing financial loss to the state. And no Attorney General said on to us what discontinue case, you know. Ope omo moye corruptor, Sedinam Tamakulu, Ationu, were a member of the NDC, and court at Jelino, still a NDC so monko fanema, Ufuriata so ma a topic. But NDC so monko fanema. M1 may serving a sentence. So the record shows that between MPP and NDC, NPP and NDC. Let nobody begin to brand the MPP as corrupt. Berikaka, your Okroma say venture capital, Daniel Duku, former CEO, and also your Nico Jina Court, Attorney General Bayeno, or say on to us. And Yebeko heard the reasoning behind Attorney General so on to us. Total loss of 42.8 million. Attorney General said on to us. So between MPP and NDC, and Mofra, Gen Zs, yepe the most corrupt we are mine power and NPP and NDC. Even in recent times, double salary scandal. President Akufo-Addo period. 30 NDC MPs collected double salary. Tienye, the Akufo-Addo nanka sansu ye blame you. And you might be your friends and family. Ministers of state are no more members of parliament under John Dramani Mahama #1 for 4 consecutive terms. The MPP government took the matter, and what happened? Of course, President Akufo-Addo achau. President Akufo-Addo yesero se no omo sunim so omo ba be wienti no ma nya omo hwe no se de you. Anya sadia. The record shows that double salary scandal no. There were members of parliament who were double salary. For 4 years, a yet documented history of our nation. A say between MPP and NDC. Omo cause financial loss. Omo defrauded the state. Omo procurement breaches, diversion of public funds, and repeated prosecutions. There is no one single MPP a year appointee at Wako jail since 1992 based there. It will be a to me make us MPP a corrupt party. MPP a corrupt party. MPP will be a medical car. So being so and the Akufo-Addo abai akowiyesi beko akowiyesi. Enyama na meka. Don't market for man on eka. So Attorney General will pay no match at 30%. Nam so Attorney General do want sa. No so Okatakyie Afrifa so ya ka asema wonyin tum. Want sa say. Ti masan Attorney General ti. But the record shows that so will be a real man for no one. Munjeli no. We are not a bunch of criminals forming a political party. Our political party was not formed to come and steal from anyone. It is a Hasman or Asamu, Buffer Stockman, so a real man for no one, and your propaganda in the media. Monfan nem court. Namunko prove beyond reasonable doubt. Where we are man for a mama court in Injelino. We MPP ni na so ne menya adwene on this position e wo wasem enya masem me say obi a ye man ne tumi so onso manfo no a wa wi a manfo ne bia monjeli no Now said a bayan who is Attorney General and Crawford, Monya, Omagene. So one beji Lubiano. We are going to move to our next topic of a year Attorney General Komobia. Omudi, la. Sir Mobakai said, Omobaya na no mudi ora. Mewa. Winim. Ora no winim. But before see beko ora no so ye intercepted document be from a year Bank of Ghana. So document way shows that Bank of Ghana is trying to recapitalize or more broad can say recapitalize a year the Deben market. But Attorney General Domlevo ora. NDC propaganda ayo mo de chain so mbe yadwuma. Yere ora Domlevo obisa question bi. Domlevo yanko.
Major concern about the ORA is that it is not going to be successful if we keep or maintain the same legal framework and institutional arrangements for fighting corruption. And my major concern about the ORA is that it is not going to be successful if we keep or maintain the same legal framework and institutional arrangements for fighting corruption and corruption-related issues. What am I talking about? As we speak today, or as you and me, we are having this discussion, to establish guilt against someone for financial crimes, the person, it must be proven by prosecution beyond reasonable doubt. And financial crimes or corruption and corruption-related issues are not issues that are very easy to establish beyond reasonable doubt. Because the perpetrators of this type of crime are very intelligent and sophisticated persons. And after receiving the proceeds of crime, they are also able to manipulate evidence, even including influencing the investigators and the prosecution, and at times even the judges. So it is not going to be easy. So I think the low-hanging fruit, which are not being plugged, is what my major concerns, my concerns are about. One, if we had changed the legal framework, said that for corruption and corruption-related cases of financial crimes, one does not need to prove beyond reasonable doubt. Once it can be established that Daniel is in possession of resources or assets that do not match his known sources of income, then the onus should shift to Daniel to prove to us how he or she got it, if it's a lady. So if we do that reverse burden or lifestyle audit or unexplained wealth, I am sure that alone can deter people who intend even stealing. And of course, those who have stolen, we can easily get them to refund the money to us and maybe punish them.
So we aye ora demlefu. On some penny forecast and say wuntimi unioma was so kashiri anenye. The basic principle of law when it comes to proving for criminal cases, proving beyond all reasonable doubt. And the reason, the basic principle of law which seeks to protect innocent people is that it will be better, so we save hundreds of criminals na than see one innocent person akoda jail. There's a one innocent person ko jailer. That means we've not done justice to that person. So improving criminal matters, unlike improving civil matters, which is probabilities, balance of probabilities. Here you need to prove beyond all reasonable doubt. Domlevo ya aware said that is the basic principle of criminal cases. Nebomuno omuntimi omoniyomenti. Ora Domlevo as a young shifty the onus, the burden of proof no. You're shifting free the prosecutor. Near Fanko, the accused. Said ye accusee when we find unfounded allegations, you drag the person to court, you have no fact, you have no evidence against the person, and the person now must come and explain unexplained wealth to the state. There is a reason here okwa ko prove even criminal case here. Court no ma wodi kan establish a prima facie case. Because we don't want you to waste the court's time. There is too much cases as a court in the daily. Now, if we go the way now, Domlevo Kana, what then will happen is that Attorney General Biamuso Okatakyie Matoka, the car no effect, medai effect, this, that. Adechi no drag me to court. Or drag me to court, only evidence, only fact. Then we have a court and say, baby, I'm doing to improve my case. It's mama the accused numum improving why only dying only car. This is a separate matter. That is why Iyoko is there. If you want people to explain or more wealth, acquisition of wealth, you can file a complaint to Iyoko. Organize economic and organize But when you go to court on the basis that somebody is corrupt, then you cannot shift the simple basic principle of law that he who accuses must prove. This is simple. This is simple. He who accuses must prove. What's the idea? Shifting the balance. Now, the entry of Muntimin prove your case. Young Attorney General.
Brother Demlevo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that is for me very disconcerting and very concerning. My senior brother Demlevo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that is for me very disconcerting and very concerning, because their report was just bare-bone allegations, right? And I cannot take bare-bone allegations to court.
Okay, so when you're in America, if a year already Demlevo say yes, sir, the burden of proof. The only reason Domlevo is calling that the burden of proof should shift to the accused instead of the prosecution, and say Domlevo more report the comma Attorney General yes, some quasi report. Him ake and drone konkonsa and the woman and America. Attorney General no more some clean view.
Brother Demlevo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that is for me very disconcerting and very concerning, because their report was just bare-bone allegations, right? And I cannot take bare-bone allegations to court.
Their reports were bare-bone allegations, and I cannot take bare-bone allegations to court. So it is not about shifting the burden of proof. Ora Demlevo say enyoma na omo gigi ye ora omo printing ye papers akese omo say ye papers oni okuje 23 say mirror of justice omo wasting your time ene ayi sa akwa ya wai ne ho ayi moral judge ayi Martin Kpegbu lawyer Martin Kpegbu omo wasting your time no enkonkonsan kwa no mkuti hwi nim ensuo nim bare bone allegations. This is the Attorney General speaking, not me. No Okatakyie Afrifa Mensah, you may not like me, but clearly I am not the one speaking. Attorney General said, "Ye Domlevo mo de ba ye no, eye sankwas nsimhunu manfo na beye what is say? Hwinim paper ten no mo print no mo submit jomama no mo deceive jomama. Enyama na meka. Yenti Attorney General biu.
Demlevo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that is for me very disconcerting and very concerning, because their report was just bare-bone allegations, right? And I cannot take bare-bone allegations to court.
Ora no insuanim. Okuya trosi ye benya 21 billion ama Ghana. Attorney General say insuani ora nim. Just afi no kokwe na odi insu. But the Attorney General yemusa question. If these are bare-bone allegations, why the press conferences? Because the public who deceive you. You, the Attorney General, under Article 88.3, is solely responsible for initiating a year conduct and conducting of prosecutions. But an Attorney General TNA, every citizen in Ghana, every so betimiaye BB, Oba no about a press conference, no jailing Crofono, what me say, a former national security coordinator or a part of the scandal, no one make a pronouncement to the effect that they are thieves. This is thievery. But Attorney General, you know that these are legal conclusory remarks. When a lawyer who is an Attorney General prosecuting a case begins to make pronouncement as though he is the court, before a pronouncement can be made to the effect that somebody is a thief or otherwise, it is only a court of competent jurisdiction that has the jurisdiction and the authority to make such conclusory remarks and pronouncements. Now, when we have an Attorney General who has the duty to prove the case in court, that's how Attorney General will make a conclusory statement like this is thievery, they are thieves, it is worrying. So if over 200 cases of alleged looting exist, the Attorney General is required to be investigated. But on our now, young sorry for the Attorney General view.
21 billion. About how much do you realistically estimate that you can achieve for the country?
Okay, so let's start with the oral report. The oral report was in segments, and 2,000 and plus cases that you are talking about came out of the various segments. So, for instance, if you take the land, right? You take the land looting cases; they are one component, okay, of the oral cases. Not all of them. I can say this with certainty. Not all of them will end up, going to court, right? There will be some of them. There are some of them we are. Realizing that the evidence, okay, because the oral report was a collection of allegations, a collection of complaints, and that is why I find it a bit disconcerting. When people like my brother, my senior brother Demlovo, complain about the slowness of the investigation.
He's been consistent with that complaint.
Well, that.
Attorney General, yes, Attorney General on another thing. Attorney General making remarks, which is very worrying.
We are doing offshore investigations. So I have foreign asset recovery companies, okay, or personnel that are helping me, experts that are helping me to trace assets abroad.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are doing that.
And you do them simultaneously with your investigations?
We are doing them simultaneously. Assess a matter, okay, and have still responsibility, right, for your sector.
That's right.
Right. But when it comes to, technical matters, such as, a construction project, you have technical people working on and advising the minister. So I don't know by what means a minister is going to be able to say that this IPC ought not to be paid because it is false.
Okay, so Attorney General, I'm making comments, and this was in reference to the Siglimi issue. Now, the pronouncement near very worrying. Samseladi Anyani is asking him why or discontinue some of the cases or drop charges against the likes of my very good friend Collins Dada in the Siglimi issue. Now, Attorney General is talking about a year or dropping cases because a minister must be charged when some of the things, infractions, and here based on technical advice. I'll come and address that. But yes, Attorney General, briefly on this.
Opinion that this ought not to have gone to trial in the first place. There is no point wasting the state's resources in conducting a trial when I know that down the line, all right, the state is going to lose. That will be reckless. That will be professionally, and in fact, it will be unethical on my part to assess a matter, come to the determination that there is reasonable doubt, the evidence doesn't stand up, and then I say, okay, you know what, just so that I satisfy, the public, let this, continue. No Attorney General should be conducting himself or herself in that way.
Now, no attorney general should conduct himself.
Great. Individuals who are associated with the NDC, do you regret your early decisions involving, nolly prosequi filings and the famous 60% plea bargains?
No, I don't. And Samson, you've known me for many years. If I don't believe in something, I wouldn't do it. And when I came into office, I did an objective professional assessment of all the pending cases. And remember, I keep reminding people that I was involved on the other side as defense attorney.
Muntie Adia Attorney General, Yabako reading the Constitution. Muntie Adia Attorney General. Attorney General said he was involved in the other side as a defense prosecution. Okay, so now a Attorney General, Yentia Adia Obabeka.
Assessment of all the pending cases. And remember, I keep reminding people that I was involved on the other side as defense attorney, right? If I didn't believe in the innocence of my clients, I would not, in some cases, I would not have, participated in, their, as part of their defense team, okay? So I had an insider view of most of the things that happened. So, for instance, you take, Sagleme. Okay. Sagleme, by all standards, was poorly investigated. All right. And the charges were poorly thought through. I'm saying this with all due respect to the people who drafted the charges, to the, state attorneys who were involved. I believe in their professionalism and I respect, their knowledge of criminal law a lot. All right. In fact, some of them are better than I am when it comes to criminal law. But I did an objective assessment. And so I give the Sagleme case as an example. Now, if you look at the case, they were talking about $200 million, all right, of funds, that were misused or lost to the state as a result of the actions of the persons who were charged, including my then client, Collins Dowda, all right? Well, we did an assessment of it. Collins Dowda was charged with causing financial loss to the tune of $200 million. But Collins Dowda was in the ministry for a very short period. At the time that he was leaving, only $94 million had been expended.
Attorney General said, because now or insider knowledge, and then the Buanamani concluded so charges in a week. But the Constitution says something very different and it's very clear. Yanko read Article 284. Now yen read Article 284. Now already Article 284. Article 284 says that a public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interests conflict or is likely to conflict with the performance of his office. Tienye, Article 284. I say, where a public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interest conflict. So, Attorney General, no, a lawyer ma Collins Dowda, and then because now a lawyer ma Collins Dowda, now our insider report, and obey Attorney General. And we usually 2 years Attorney General and the track case in him on to us. Meanwhile, say a week here, it should have been the court which will say that evidence are yet and yet enough. Attorney General using the discretionary powers within the Constitution, under the Constitution. But even in the usage of the discretionary powers, Article 295B, 296B, it talks about the use of discretionary powers. So when you are using discretionary powers, it must not be arbitrary, it must not be capricious, it must not be biased. So using privileged information, you gain as a defense lawyer to later drop charges as Attorney General, it creates a perception of bias. So Attorney General now or defense attorney, Emma Collins Dowda, now and they wababe Attorney General. Or so what drop it charges against Collins Dowda. Or see ni say or Attorney General or fair. But he has forgotten says why attorney general no or dropping cases in one. Although a discretion, so about dropping cases, but it violates the spirit of fairness. It undermines the public confidence, and it places the attorney general in a position, a constitutional, forbidden clearly. Was this the attorney general or a public officer? Now, be you show discretionary powers. It must not be arbitrary. It must not be capricious. Again, you should not put yourself in a place. Now, even if the intentions were pure, and it do attorney general and because of Justice Rimsai, the former constitutional law lecturer who is also a friend, a very good friend, Nasem Kayamede. But I must say this in the interest of governance. Even if the intentions were pure, now clearly it appears as conflict of interest. If so, you attorney general, now the catcher say, "Wo now your defense attorney for a client, and now be attorney general into a case anymore." Again, minister no, attorney general make a point to the fact that why is the minister being held liable for technical construction errors, and that they relied on expert and cannot be expected, say, be detected a false interim payment certificate. Now, I don't agree with the attorney general. The Constitution disagrees with you because the preamble of the Constitution demands probity and accountability. Attorney General, you are aware. Your friend will be a vicarious liability, ultimate responsibility. Now, this is a case where Attorney General under Yankongo read Article 67, Article 76. Article 76. Article 76 says, the cabinet shall assist the president in determination of general policy of government. The cabinet, it's the attorney general, who are part of cabinet. Although you are a minister may not be a technical engineer, but they are custodians of public funds. If it's a minister, no, and they also sign. So they are responsible. So mobile oversight responsibility. Ama every adebia edebromo a Jessica free the public in the hall. It is an attorney general because said there were technical errors and infractions, and for that matter, the minister now yedi a public funds and no man no. Or no any oversight responsibility. We cannot hold them into accountable. What kind of logic is this, attorney general? So Okatakyie say, Collins Dada, no a minister, and on the advice of technical people, it will release this, and for that matter, he cannot be held a year liable. Ignorance is not a defense. The fact that he did not know said there was error cannot be a defense for him. Ignorance can clearly not be a defense. So Attorney General Beka said it was Attorney General, please respectfully, this your position is a bit worrying. You are becoming more of a media general than Attorney General. Respectfully said, you are becoming more of a media general than Attorney General. Again, Attorney General says it is reckless, unethical, and waste of state resources to pursue a case he believes the state may lose. But justice to me is not a gamble. Attorney General, what the man for court on it is not just about CIG Esika. That is why I have a problem with a yewo opposition. I want to say, and Grofo we are man for the Sika or mobile plea bargain. No more than 70%, 60% bar obeje. It is worrying because one of the fundamental principles of punishment is deterrence. Attorney General, justice is a duty, and one of the fundamental principles of punishment say you do be a court, you punish nipa no, and yen nipa no be sofa ne nkoanti ani hia. They must say best serve as a deterrence. Nema afoforo kon no so mu be wie sika. Now with the current posture of the Attorney General, where man for wie sika also will negotiate with them for plea bargain and a fire here. Iti wora you can say dufo aba wabetua sika ni bi enti me so wonko enya ne saadia Minya kwana me ba be public officer. All I have to do is that I say me we sika no bebre. Na me we bebre na oba na ache me a. Me se plea bargaining, make sure 70% na macheko. So it is not just about a year or punishing nipa na year sika, but the public interest demands a trial not merely for conviction, but also to establish a record, to expose the wrongdoing, to protect the public purse. That is what we are talking about. If it's a constitution about probity, accountability, social justice in the account, the only way you can deter people and uphold the sovereign will of the people, which is about exposing a wrongdoing, which is about protecting the public purse, it is about prosecuting the people just so the others will not have an incentive to get into such matters. So although dropping cases may save money, as you are saying, it may help the exchequer, but it does not help justice. It does not help accountability. It does not help Ghana Attorney General. So please, this analogy is very bad. Your stance is very bad. It's a weak stance. If indeed you want to, medical can say MPP Nibia Ria Mamfonwa, Monjeli Nipano. And MPP Nibia no eba supporting kwasiasem. Se minya kwanya semeso mamfo, na me wie me Ria Mamfona, Monjeli me. I must be able to be responsible for my own actions. So the Constitution of Ghana is not just a suggestion. It is not optional. You cannot come and sit here and say that you must prosecute the people. Because the Constitution is the supreme law of Ghana. And when the Attorney General's actions or inactions appear to contradict the Constitution, yen prosecuting Crawford to serve as a deterrent. For me, Ghana deserves better. Ghana deserves a transparent government. Ghana deserves accountability. The Attorney General position way is very wrong. You need to move away from it. You cannot treat this business as usual. Say Attorney General say. Attorney General say. Just the same side, please tell your boss. I know that now no call haka crowd for it. And I know call haka crowd for it. But in the interest of governance, some of these conversations must be had. With the greatest of respect to the Attorney General, with the greatest of respect to you, Justice Rimsai, I don't seek to undermine the authority of the Attorney General, but I believe that it is worrying. The position that your boss and your institution, your edifice is taking is a bit worrying. It needs to be checked. But the American say it needs to be checked. And the Attorney General, whether we like it or yes, clearly, you need to prosecute these cases. You need to prosecute them. You're moving away from a year Attorney General and Seminona. Let's go and check Bank of Ghana leakage via leaked report from Bank of Ghana. We suggest that Bank of Ghana recapitalization of banks. Recapitalization of banks. Now, recapitalization of banks, you will start the relevant questions. Recapitalization of microfinance institutions. Recapitalization. The questions that needs to be asked, we are going to ask here the very important questions. Bank of Ghana, you're be paying. Mo yes, I deal with. Emma, a banks in a week. Now, banks in a week, And I could afford to buy the mobile yebe kulusi. Obekaya, and be no coma, yes, the men's hotel near this car. Capital Bank near the coffee fast. And this is your mama and the mom. Now, leaked report shows that Bank of Ghana saw a recapitalization of banks. Almost said sorry, microfinance institutions. Almost be good no because almost say a good for the pencil and this is for. So we are asking the questions. The issue of Ponzi schemes, Yakai men's good. Yakai a year back home friends say, okay, so this is the report. Now, oh, sorry, Bank of Ghana reporter I've sent my people to do a lot of work. They are going to, but we are asking the questions. Men's good DNA been eba now for the microfinance institutions. Yeah, we start the relevant questions. DKM DNA been eba now. You start the relevant questions. Now, Bank of Ghana see new reforms eba. And it's just a takeover because almost you microfinance no more honor. MPP for recapitalization. Therefore, he no see here. What is the real objectives? You need DHR. Now, is there a way to acquire control over private institutions and now DBA? NDC and they demonize the banking sector. NDC call it reckless. They call it political. It was my banom so more recapitalization. As you been ye any DHR. One baby no more say movie the baseline capital of a year microfinance. Normally a costro. I feel them common air to trimba. We are going to have the conversation into detail in the coming days. The Bank of Ghana won't mean van comma. You do not need to proceed. Says reforms and be good by microfinancer. Where a leaked report from Bank of Ghana. If a big good microfinancer, you cannot proceed. And as a money be chest kedia, ye di any DHR. We will be in Surubia, money be chest kedia, ye di any DHR. The records are there. Let's recap what we did tonight. Tonight, we were able to prove that although NDC say Omocha, John Mama buying, also Omocha a year COVID-19 levy mo. Now so me no kasa omugusua edge COVID-19 levy no. Inti Kionet a buying. Me no kasa gold board ebe kachere so Bank of Ghana so Ghana boka abno se asare as subjected the governor of Bank of Ghana. When to me improve it, see a boka a kufu the pencil good for reserve. It's a Kionet a buying. We were able to prove to you tonight, say between NPP and NDC, the most corrupt political party, and NPP, it is NDC. Again, we were able to prove to you tonight that Attorney General Anya so obe fight corruption. Media prosecution yen the chance so obe call into the docket, obe call into a court, no ako face court no the evidence ako. Media prosecutions and the chance are. Aha, for the records, meeting Okatakyie Afrifa Mensah. We keep on bringing you the wo wadwene enko so. Ye bie wani ekọ ba bia wo wani enko ye. Se be ya Kionet aban timin tum futuro enwani. I came just to serve you and baby abedi besini. Thank you. Bye bye. Sememu ni waya mami akonya ya fonemi. Na sememu bageti say ya, but ya can say.